Welcome to Facts, Fiction and Faraway Lands. Imagine going to a musical performance. The music is so peppy that you automatically start tapping your feet and swaying. Wait, you didn't do it consciously. It just happened. How? Human brains release a special chemical that makes us feel happy. Can you guess one thing that starts a gush of that chemical? Yes, music. A part of your brain called the cerebellum helps control body movement. When it feels a musical beat, you may tap your toes or even jump out of your chair to dance. The cerebellum works together with the brain's reward center, helping your body to enjoy the rhythm even without trying. Put on some peppy music and start grooving. The brain and body are wired to feel the beat. Your Friday ticket to wonder, words, and the whole world. In a quiet little village nestled deep within the lush forests of Kerala, there lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Amrita. She had always felt a strong connection to nature. While other children played in open fields or ran around the village, Amrita preferred spending her time exploring the woods. She admired the wildflowers that bloomed in brilliant colors, listened to the songs of the birds, and watched the monkeys swinging from tree to tree. One sunny afternoon, while walking along a narrow forest trail, Amrita noticed something shiny hidden under the bush. She reached down and discovered an old rusted key. "I wonder what this unlocks," she thought to herself, turning the key over in her hand. Excited by the mystery, she began searching for the lock that matched it. She wandered through thick vines and twisted roots for hours. Just as she was about to turn back, Amrita spotted something behind a curtain of thorny creepers, an old wooden door covered in moss. Her heart pounded with excitement. She gently inserted the key into the lock and turned. Click! It opened perfectly. With a creak, the door swung open and Amrita stepped inside a part of the forest she had never seen before. The trees here were taller and seemed to glow with an inner light. Flowers shimmered in colors she couldn't name, and animals peeked out curiously but without fear. This was no ordinary forest. It was an enchanted one. As she wandered deeper, a soft voice called out to her. A kind fairy appeared, dressed in petals and sparkling dust. "Welcome, Amrita," said the fairy. "You have been chosen to help us." The fairy explained that the forest had once been full of magic and harmony, where animals, trees, and fairies lived together in peace. But over the years, the greed of humans had taken a toll. Trees were cut, animals fled, and the forest's magic began to fade. "There is still hope," said the fairy. 3 magical seeds were hidden long ago. If you can find and plant them in the sacred clearing, the magic can return. Without hesitation, Amrita agreed. Her journey took her back through thick jungles, across vast rivers, and up steep hills. She faced many challenges: slippery rocks, sudden rains, and even a tricky talking parrot who tried to mislead her. But her determination never wavered. After a long search, Amrita found the first seed under a waterfall, the second seed inside a hollow tree guarded by squirrels, and the third in a cave filled with glowing fireflies. She rushed back to the enchanted clearing, dug 3 holes, and carefully planted each seed. The ground trembled slightly. Suddenly, the forest shimmered. Vines twisted joyfully. Flowers bloomed brighter than ever, and the animals began to return. The fairy appeared again, smiling. "You have brought back life to our world." Amrita returned to her village, tired but full of joy. She shared her story with the villagers, and they listened in awe. From that day on, people in the village began treating the forest with love and care. Amrita became known far and wide as the protector of the enchanted forest. Thanks to her bravery and kindness, the forest continued to thrive. And so, every time someone walked among the trees, they remembered the young girl who saved the magic of nature with just a key and a kind heart. This week, we travel to Bosnia and Herzegovina in the European continent. The capital of this country is Sarajevo. Let's take a look at the world map to spot Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now for the fun fact. Stari Most means old bridge in the Bosnian language. It's a giant stone bridge stretching across a sparkling blue river with beautiful old buildings on both sides. The bridge was built about 460 years ago in 1566 during the Ottoman Empire. That means it's older than the United States of America. It's one of the most famous bridges in Europe, known for its curved shape and stone design. Stari Most connects 2 sides of the city of Mostar across the Neretva River. It's a true symbol of the city. Every summer, trained and brave divers jump off the bridge, 24 meters high. It's a tradition that's been around for hundreds of years. There's even a diving competition every year. Did you know the bridge was destroyed during the war in 1993, but it was rebuilt in 2004 using the same stones and old techniques. Today, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a treasure for all humanity. Today, in our Invention of the Week section, we are going to talk about something we all wear every day: shoes. Over 5,000 years ago, people didn't have sneakers or sandals. They wrapped animal skin around their feet to stay warm and safe. first shoes were like soft leather socks. Ancient Egyptians wore sandals made from palm leaves. Romans had leather sandals with straps for soldiers, farmers, and nobles. In China, cloth shoes were worn, some with high bottoms to stay out of the mud. Before factories, shoes were made by hand by skilled people called cobblers. Each pair was carefully crafted. In the 1800s, factories began making shoes with machines. This made shoes more affordable and comfortable for everyone. And that's how shoes, our daily companions, became an indispensable part of life. Word of the week is mayhem. We spell it as Mayhem. Mayhem means a lot of wild, noisy, and crazy confusion happening all at once. You all notice in your class often when the bell rings for lunch or at the end of the day, the classroom turns into a mayhem. Kids talking, chairs moving, pencils flying. Next time the classroom turns wild, you can smile and say, "Oh my, what mayhem!" How do we use it in a sentence? There was complete mayhem at the exhibition hall during the lunch break. That wraps up another magical stop in facts, fiction, and faraway lunch. Until next time, keep wondering. If you loved today's journey, don't forget to tap like, hit subscribe, and share it with your family and friends. Let's spread the magic of learning. Bye, Story Explorers. See you.